A stunning silence fell over the high-budget set of Crimson Mist, Wang Yibo's much-anticipated psychological thriller, after the beloved actor suddenly collapsed mid-scene, gripping his chest, gasping for air, before crumpling to the floor in front of a horrified crew. The camera kept rolling for 3 chilling seconds too long, capturing what began as acting but ended in reality. Wang Yibo suffering a full-blown panic attack that no one saw coming. What followed was a whirlwind of panic, hushed voices, tears, and locked-down studio gates. This is the story the world wasn't meant to see, but couldn't ignore. It was meant to be just another intense shooting day at Lotus Studio Complex, with the air thick with fog, lights blazing down on a blood-stained corridor set, and Yibo in full costume, disheveled, sweaty, playing a mentally tormented detective spiraling into madness. The script demanded darkness. What they got was devastation. As the director shouted, "Action!" Yibo began walking down the hallway, delivering his lines with razor-sharp emotion. The camera panned in as his breathing intensified, precisely as written. But halfway through the take, something changed. He started stammering, and his eyes lost focus, said an anonymous lighting technician. "We thought he was improvising." Then he dropped to his knees and gasped like he couldn't breathe. The boom mic caught everything. The assistant director called cut. But Yibo didn't respond. His hands were shaking uncontrollably, and he began clawing at his collar like it was suffocating him. 1 second later, he collapsed. Screams broke out behind the camera. The makeup artist dropped her brush. A production assistant ran for the on-set medic. For the next 15 minutes, the film set transformed from controlled artistry into chaos. Director Zhao Lin was seen yelling for security to shut the studio doors and cancel the remaining scenes. "No one leaves. No one films. Shut it down," he reportedly screamed, as medics rushed to treat Yibo, who was by then curled on the floor, unresponsive but breathing rapidly. It was terrifying. I've seen him do action stunts, bike through rainstorms, even perform injured, but I've never seen him like that, said lead actress Ran Chenyu. It was like watching someone drown in plain air. Paramedics arrived and administered oxygen. Yibo was gently carried off the set, his face pale and soaked in cold sweat. His manager, Zhang Wei, was seen in tears, whispering frantically into her phone. She later confirmed the actor was rushed to a private clinic for emergency treatment. Whispers of Yibo's struggle with mental pressure had existed, but no one expected it to come to this. Sources close to the production now reveal that he had been pushing himself to extremes for this film. Known for his perfectionism, he reportedly refused body doubles, performed sleepless night scenes, and even rewrote his characters' psychological breakdowns to make them more real. He kept saying, "This film has to show pain the way people actually feel it. Not some filtered TV version." But maybe he went too far, one crew member admitted. Another insider confessed that Yibo had been quietly seeing a therapist throughout the shoot, but had recently missed sessions due to overseas promotions and back-to-back filming. He was running on fumes, the insider revealed. He wanted to be flawless. He wanted to prove something. But at what cost? The news of Yibo's collapse spread like wildfire. Within 20 minutes, hashtag Wang Yibo collapse was trending worldwide. Fans flooded social media with worry, prayer circles, and furious demands for better treatment of actors in the industry. Weibo, TikTok, and Instagram were overwhelmed with videos, screenshots, and conspiracy theories. Some fans blamed the production house, while others accused management of overworking him. Photos of the studio gates being padlocked, with security guards turning away reporters, only added to the frenzy. One video clip, taken by a crew member before security confiscated phones, shows Yibo moments before his collapse, eyes wide and trembling, whispering, "I can't breathe. Something's closing in." That haunting moment, repeated across millions of screens, broke hearts. And then came the twist no one expected. Hours after Yibo was hospitalized, Xiao Zhan, his longtime friend and rumored partner, was spotted entering the clinic under heavy disguise. Dressed in a hoodie and mask, Zhan evaded paparazzi and stayed with Yibo overnight. Fans went into full meltdown. "I saw Xiao Zhan holding Yibo's hand through the glass door," said one nurse anonymously. "He didn't say a word, just sat beside him for hours, brushing his hair back every time it fell over his face." The next morning, Yibo regained full consciousness. Though visibly exhausted, he asked for Xiao Zhan first, according to a hospital staff member. The scene described by insiders is cinematic in itself, Yibo weakly lifting a hand, Jean catching it instantly, eyes shining. No cameras. No scripts. Just two people, holding on. The production of Crimson Mist has since been officially suspended indefinitely, while Yibo recovers. A statement from the producers reads, "We deeply regret the distress caused to Mr. Wang Yibo and commend his dedication and bravery. Health comes first. We will not resume filming until he fully recovers." Yibo's team also released a personal statement. Yibo is stable and receiving care. He thanks everyone for their love. Mental health is not weakness, it is part of being human. Fans across the globe began organizing digital campaigns promoting mental health awareness using the hashtag #StandWithYibo. No one knows when or if Yibo will return to Crimson Mist. But what is certain is that this moment has cracked the facade of celebrity perfection, revealing the cost of chasing artistic greatness in silence. Fellow stars, including Bai Lu, Dylan Wang, and Ren Jialuan, have publicly expressed support. Bai Lu wrote, "Even strong hearts need rest. Yibo, take all the time you need. The world can wait." Meanwhile, a quiet photo now circulates among fan pages. It's not from the film. It's from a hospital, a blurry image of Yibo resting, hand in Xiao Zhan's, for in his arm, with a soft smile on his lips. Real, raw, human. As the lights remain off in Studio C, as scripts gather dust and actors retreat from set, the industry is left shaken. Not by scandal. Not by ratings. But by a reminder that even the brightest stars sometimes burn too hot. Wang Yibo's collapse is not just a headline. It's a call for compassion, awareness, and change. And perhaps, just perhaps, the beginning of a new kind of storytelling. One where pain isn't hidden. One where silence isn't forced. And one where even the strongest are allowed to fall and be caught. The studio clock had just ticked past 4:40 p.m., but for those who witnessed it, time seemed to blur. Wang Yibo was no longer acting. He was breaking. The assistant director froze mid-sentence. The Steadicam operator dropped his rig, his mouth ajar. Ren Chenyu, Yibo's co-star, screamed his name, sprinting toward him while tripping over a fallen prop. The studio echoed with chaos, and a strange, almost sacred silence followed, a silence so loud it hummed in everyone's ears. Yibo had just delivered a line, "There's no escape, not even from myself," when his voice wavered unexpectedly. The grip of emotion in his tone was genuine, but no one realized the scene had gone off-script. His chest visibly rose and fell in rapid, erratic gasps. Sweat formed instantly on his brow. Suddenly, he reached for his own throat, clawing as if something invisible was tightening around it. "At first, I thought he was just acting next-level real," one makeup assistant recounted. "But then his knees gave out. It was like his body just gave up. He dropped, ***, not like an actor staging a fall, but like a man being swallowed by invisible weight ***. His body curled on itself, trembling. His lips parted but no sound came. It was pure terror, silent, suffocating, and all-consuming." As the crew rushed in, the illusion of the set, meticulously crafted down to fake blood splatters and flickering hallway lights, fell apart. Camera 3 was still rolling, accidentally catching every second of Yibo's breakdown until a PA lunged for the power cable and yanked it out. That footage was quickly locked in the director's private archive. "No one should see him like that. He deserves dignity," said director Zhao Lin, whose hands were still shaking hours later. What most didn't know was that this wasn't the first time Yibo had struggled silently. According to a close crew member, he had been battling insomnia for weeks. He would arrive on set with red-rimmed eyes, sipping black coffee and energy drinks instead of eating proper meals. During breaks, he'd sit in silence, staring at the wall, barely blinking. He once said to me, "Do you think it's possible to act insanity and not go insane?" I thought he was being poetic. I didn't realize he was actually asking for help. Crimson Mist had become an obsession for Yibo. A psychological thriller unlike any role he'd done, he was determined to embody Detective Lin Shen completely, even if it meant pushing himself to the brink. He requested the scenes be shot in sequence so his emotional descent would feel authentic. He insisted on live takes without stand-ins, especially during the climax scenes involving violent breakdowns, suffocating isolation, and self-doubt. He even asked to sleep on the set for 2 nights to feel what the character feels. Yibo wasn't acting anymore. He was becoming Lin Shen, a lighting operator shared. And that was dangerous. As Yibo lay trembling and pale, the studio was transformed into a red alert zone. Emergency lights glowed dimly. Security locked all exterior gates and confiscated phones to prevent leaks. No one was allowed to leave, not even the executive producers. 2 medics worked swiftly in a back corner, laying Yibo on a portable stretcher and placing an oxygen mask on him. His body was rigid, drenched in cold sweat, and he flinched violently when someone tried to lift his head. The set's fog machines were shut off. Lights were dimmed. And for the first time in Lotus Studios' history, a production was halted mid-scene due to an actor's collapse. About 20 minutes into the emergency, one of the medics pulled Yibo's manager aside and said, "He keeps whispering something. It sounds like a name." That name was Jean. Without hesitation, his manager made a phone call, short, urgent, and completely off-script. And 30 minutes later, Xiao Zhan's car pulled up outside the locked studio gates. The guards were under strict instruction. No one enters, not even reporters or top producers. But when Xiao Zhan arrived, mask on, hoodie up, no entourage, the guards looked at one another and opened the gate. "It was like watching a ghost step into a graveyard," one of them said. "He didn't say anything. He just walked in." Inside, the air was heavy. The crew parted for him like water around a rock. He knelt beside Yibo immediately, his hand gently sliding under Yibo's twitching fingers. The contact seemed to ground Yibo, whose rapid breathing started slowing. For 10 full minutes, Xiao Zhan didn't speak. He just held him, anchoring him with nothing more than presence and touch. What happened next became the stuff of emotional legend. Yibo, barely able to open his eyes, turned his head and locked eyes with Zhan. His lips moved with difficulty. "Tell them I'm sorry." Zhan shook his head. "Don't apologize for being human." A single tear escaped Yibo's eye. He tried to sit up but couldn't. Zhan pressed his forehead to his and whispered something no one else could hear. But everyone in the room felt it. In that moment, the actor, the character, the myth, ***, they all fell away ***. What remained was just a man overwhelmed by life, and another man willing to sit with him in that storm. Director Zhao later stated, "We had a brilliant breakdown scene planned for Act 3. But reality beat us to it. And I swear to you, no actor on earth could have portrayed what Yibo lived through that day." That footage, still archived and unseen by the public, is now rumored to be the most emotionally raw moment ever captured accidentally on a film set. But it won't be released. Out of respect. Because that wasn't Detective Lin Shen falling apart. That was Wang Yibo. And he deserved more than applause. He deserved care. Stay tuned to Veil of K-Drama for updates, exclusive breakdowns, and emotional reactions as the story unfolds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because this miracle might just be real.